Stitches of love we sew. In this online world we come to grow. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, where hearts align. Let's embrace the craft and let our souls shine.
Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. We're working on a cake strap. Cake strap is designed to be put around your cake pan in the oven. You soak it in water first, cold water usually, and then you just put it around your cake pan, and it prevents the domes from happening on your cake. It helps evenly cook it, so you end up with a nice flat top. So sometimes we don't want domes on our cakes, and this helps prevent that. I've got a small one here. This will do about a 6-inch cake pan, and you just soak it. Make sure it's soaked good for a couple minutes. Make sure it's really there, and then just kind of give it a squeeze dry, and then you just put it around your cake pan with the batter in, and then it goes into the oven. The batting is cotton. Cotton, bamboo, or wool are the choices that you would go with. Do not use a poly at all, or even a poly mix with anything. Just stay away from that. It's cotton, bamboo, or wool, the ones that you want to use. And I have a lot of batting extra here at the quilt shop, and so I've decided to make up a few, right? So I took, depending on the cake pan you're going to use, if you want just to kind of do a general size, then you can do the width of the fabric. That definitely gives you a nice 9-inch cake pan with a little bit extra over. You can just tuck it in on itself, make a little bow. It doesn't really matter. I'd rather make sure it actually fit. You can even probably do a couple little square pans as well, the small ones if you wanted with it. So we have a width of fabric here by 5 inches. I've taken it and I have pressed it in half, so I folded it upon itself. I've got the two raw edges together. Here's the fold. I gave it a press, so that's my little half mark. I gave it a nice little 1/4-inch press over here on the edge on both sides, okay? And that's going to be tucked in our edge, okay? I also have 2 strips of fabric here, 2 inches wide with 5 inches long. We won't need the 5 inches, but we do need some because we don't want it tight on our bed. We want to make sure we can actually get the fabric through. So we want to make sure it's like a little bit of a loop. You can see that there. It's just a little bit of a loop, okay? And simple, easy. And if you had some like cake fabric or cooking fabric or something at home and you just wanted to use it for something, these are great ideas to whip up as gifts for people. Make sure you do 2, because most people make a cake, it's stacked in 2. I have tested this, and we have some pictures to show you along the way here of how it worked out, okay? So I took my 2 by 5-inch fabric. I took it and folded it in half, and then I'm going to sew a little edge right along there, and then turn it right side out and give it a little press, and you get one just like that, okay? So let's do that first. And we need 2 because we want it to loop under one and loop under another, and then that's really going to hold it, okay? Back stitch, and then we're going to take this, and I like my hemostats for this. You just come up in between, just kind of slip the fabric over the hemostats, and then squish it down close to where the tongs are, and then just pinch it closed so you got a bit of the fabric right on the inside there, and then you just slip this fabric over top. It pulls right side out. Let go with the hemostat, fluff out the little end of it. Make sure it's nice and flat, and then just give it a little press. So it is completely flat. Okay. There. And now when it comes to this piece, we've already marked it where we want it for the iron parts, okay? Now what we want to do is take these 2 bits here and put them with the right sides together, and then just sew down this one side and sew down on the other side, leaving the big top edge here open. And then do the same on the other side. I've got my knee lift on my machine because I was using it for something, and I'm like, I don't know if I like the knee lift. Do you guys like the knee lift? And I'm just going to take a little bit off of the corners because we're going to turn this right side out, and we want to eliminate any like extra bulk that we don't really need. So just pop that out. Now you're going to take this and poke it out so you have a nice long band with a big gap at the top. Okay. And now we take our batting, which we have cut seam width difference less on either side, because we're going to stick that right in the corner. Okay, we're going to make sure we're pinching. I do have 2 layers here. I suggest 2 layers. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm just going to pinch it, that corner, and I'm going to stick it right down in that corner. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a little clip there so it's not going to go anywhere on me. And then I'm going to tuck this batting right next to the fold, all the way down, squishing it in here. Okay, all the way across. Oops, I forgot to trim it. Okay, well, I had one that was here already, so we're just going to snip that there because I know that's what I need to get me the length minus the seam allowance, turning in the edge on either side. And then I take this corner as well and stick it in the other side. Okay. Poke out the corner a little bit. When I shoved it in the corner, it shifted on me. Okay, so there. And then just pull it and it flops right inside. Again, I'm just going to clip that there so it stays in there. Now you want to take it so you can clip or pin the top edge. So you want to tuck it in that area that we ironed, the little seam there. So just tuck it in, whether you put it in between the batting, it doesn't matter because you're going to top stitch all the way across. You're just going to seal it all up. So if you want to put it all to one side, that's up to you. Okay, so I'm going to try and stick it all to one side. Fold that edge in and then fold that edge in. And we're just going to move that clip up so it's holding it there. And we're just going to put a couple little clips, and then I'm going to show you how to add in your little bands here. Okay, so one end here we're just going to tuck in right at the top. Okay, just tuck it in. Just needs to be enough that it's going to stay secured. And then this end here we're going to roll it and then roll it again to make this little edge disappear, the raw edge disappear, and then that's going to get stitched right on the edge there, and that forms our nice little loop. Okay, so for the first stitch across we just need this part here. So you want to come down about 1.5 inches, and then I put a 2-inch gap in between the bands. Okay, so let's do that. Just kind of position it there. You can use pins or clips, whatever makes you happy. Okay, and then we've got the other one. There we go. We'll just measure over a couple inches. There we go. Works good enough for our government work. And we will just keep clipping or pinning your way down. And you're just going to do this is where you could do a lovely decorative top stitch. Show off the skills. You know, if you wanted to hand stitch it, you could do a nice blanket stitch. I would use a nice cotton thread though. Be careful. I'm not using a plastic thread that would melt at a certain temperature in the oven. Okay. Most cakes bake at 350 to 375 Fahrenheit. You usually don't see too many go over that. If anything, it's usually a pie, and it's a pie crust that usually goes over that kind of temperature for baking. So, okay, just keep folding that under and clipping it closed. Maybe. Struggle is real, my brains. We had a great adventure for having going back to Pop's work. Sorry we missed a Wednesday video and a Friday video. Just things were just a little more chaotic than we were anticipating, and just didn't get a chance to sort that out. And we're sorry about that. Life gets away with you sometimes. Okay, so I'm just taking that clip out and then just straightening my fabric to give me a nice position to sew all the way around. So what I want to do is I want to kind of start off on this side first, do a little stitch. That way I'm securing these guys. I'm securing with them when I need to be, and then I'm coming around, and then I'm going to do this, the fold and place right there on top. So it's getting stitched this way and then stitched around that way, and it's giving us a nice loop. Okay, so let's do that. Make sure your straps or your little bands are straight out. Back stitch. Move the clip. Move this clip. Just want to make sure they're secure, and we're doing a good job on our project. Okay, now lifting the foot. See, this is where I should have been using the button. I need to be trained, people. Okay, there we go. Hey, 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 just takes time. You don't have to go around the bottom because it is folded over, but I just thought it fit nice in between the getting it in the bands, like getting it in these little slits. It just seemed to fit a little bit better if you just kind of stitched on the bottom. Give it a little bit of rigidness. And just a straight stitch, or you can do a zigzag or a decorative. You know, just if you're in, just make sure you're committed for the whole thing, right? And be patient with your machine when it comes to those decorative stitches. Sometimes it goes like 2 steps forward and 5 steps back and stuff like that, and you think, no, oh no, it's not doing something right. And you end up kind of pushing it or shoving it, and no, don't do that. Let it do its thing. Now, this combined with an apron and maybe some, you know, tea towels and some washcloths and, you know, a few other little kitchen-y items would be a great housewarming gift, or a gift to give someone who's new to cooking or wants to experiment with cooking or baking or something like that. This little project would go well, and it encourages them to make a cake and test it out for themselves. And who didn't like cake? If you wanted to, you can maybe even round those edges. I didn't really see the use for it. Okay, we're coming on to the folded side, so we want to make sure all our little folded edges are out, and we have all those little raw edges tucked in between. And you could also quilt this up more. You could do more strips down with thread. Maybe use a different color for the top and one for the bottom, and different color for straps. The only limitation is your imagination. Make sure we're tucking in those edges. Get a little assembly line working. I got a little quiet there. I thought I ran out of bobbin. Why didn't you tell me, Marie France? Not a bob. No kidding. Still got it. Oh no, I forgot to sew the things down. Whoops. I got so excited. That's okay. We'll do it now. Okay, so either way, it doesn't matter. Alright, fold that there. Just fold it over just a quarter, and then a quarter again, and then just tuck it down here. We'll just zip across. Whoops. Got in the zone, people. Okay, we'll do the same. Just fold and fold. And then just place it right up on top. Put a little clip. Let me just secure those. Oops. And then we'll just scoot over here and do the same. We're just following the same scene. I'm just securing it. Okay. Now, trim up our little threads. And they just loop one easily inside the other. Now this is also like a great costume for a belt, You know, you could really think about this. You could actually, if you had it like that, and you put like a couple little buttonhole slits in there, and you had like a little dog collar, you could dress up your dog with a fancy little collar or something like that. Maybe add little things to, I don't know, only limitation, right? And there you go. You have yourself a little cake strap or cake band for making cakes, nice and even. Okay, and it just slips around like that to whatever size you need, so it's very adjustable. And the one that I have in the house, I just, because it was a little bit bigger than the pan that I needed, but I wanted to make the same size as the one I already had, I just took the end in and then just pulled it under the other two, and then that was fine. It's perfect. It just went like that. So, okay. I hope you make them. Great gift for people and for yourself, those cake makers out there. Take care. Big hugs to you, and we'll see you soon. Oh my gosh, what is with the words? The words are hard. Fix them for me. The words are hard. It's a cake strap. Get with it.